Hi everyone, this is SkepticSage. I'm responding to a video called Tips for Christians Debating Atheists. This is a video by Joshua P. Allen, a Christian who has a certain theory that he posits in his video. I found it interesting that he turned off the capacity for anyone to directly connect a response to his video and made it impossible for anyone to give a text response. That seems rather odd to someone who wants to explain to people how to debate. Apparently, Mr. Allen doesn't like debating at all, or at least he doesn't like debating the kinds of people who have been debating him on YouTube. Maybe that is wise, but nevertheless it says something about someone who goes on and on and on about debating and yet is unwilling to debate himself. His theory goes a little bit like this. There are type 1 and type 2 people in the world. One group of people believe in things because it makes them feel good, believes in things because it's what they've always thought to believe in things because of tradition and emotion and that sort of thing. And then there is another group of people who believe what they believe because of rationality and evidence. And he says that Christians and atheists are divided up between these groups. So you have emotionalistic, non-rational Christians, and then you have Christians who are more of the rational, scientific bent. And then an atheist, you have the same thing. A scientific, rational atheist, and then you have the emotional atheist who believes in atheism for emotional reasons. Why anyone for emotional reasons would believe in atheism is never explained and seems odd to me, and that's the first thing that makes me think that this theory of his is bunk. Number one, the vast majority of atheists that I've ever known are in the category of being rational and empirical and scientific. That's why they're atheists. They became scientific and rational first, then they became atheists second as a result of scientifically and rationally assessing the God concept, which is a delusion. Most scientists are atheists, and those scientists who get Pulitzer Prizes, Nobel Prizes for their writings or for their experimentation, almost are all atheists. Most of the religious people I've ever met, that I've ever debated, debate from an emotional, non-rational point of view. But lately, I have been running into something new. Mr. Allen's. These new kinds of guys who claim that they are a Christian for rational and scientific reasons, and this is my challenge to Mr. Allen. I would bet that if you were to lay out in front of me your logical and rational reasons for believing in God, I could blow all of them out of the water because they're probably all bullshit. You would be the first person, if you were able to convince me of the existence of God, you would be the first person to do so, and believe me, people have tried repeatedly. I keep hearing about these rational and empirical Christians, but I have met very few. I've met so many people who tell me that evolution isn't a fact, and it ends up that their sources of material are some guy, some professor in West Cow Creek University who's notorious for writing crazy, stupid things and couldn't get a professorship anywhere else except West Cow Creek. So they go and they find these very obscure people who've done these very bad, very illy put together experiments, and they will cherry pick their data and only show that information, rather than looking at all the information and coming up with a theory that best is supported by and explains the given data. But I don't think that's what Mr. Allen is doing. Because if Mr. Allen were the kind of person that looked at all of the data and came to the obvious conclusion, looking at the sociological, the psychological, the biological, and the physics information about this universe and about humankind, one cannot come to the conclusion I think it's an inevitable conclusion that there will not be and is not any evidence of any kind of creator or any kind of man in the sky that's looking out for us. There's a complete lack of evidence, and there has been a complete lack of evidence for millennia upon millennia. Human beings believe in God primarily because it makes them feel better. This category that he talks about, Mr. Allen, of rational empirical Christians is a pseudo category. It doesn't exist. He thinks he's in that category, and he is deluded about himself, which is ironic taking into consideration that he encourages within his audience self-reflection. I would suggest, Mr. Allen, that if you want to deal with self-reflection, you might want to start with the guy you see in the morning when you shave and start really thinking about what your motivations are for claiming scientific evidence and claiming a scientific foundation of the Bible when there is so much, a mountain of evidence that is to the contrary. Just a thought. Thanks for putting up with me. Peace.